So after watching Instant Family, I saw pretty much what was the complete exact opposite of a feel-good, heartwarming movie in Beautiful Boy. Yeah, this was a movie that I said I did not know I was getting until about a couple days ago. Because my cheap theater it's basically a second run theater that's like right next to the one I usually always go to, was playing Beautiful Boy. I'm like, oh, okay. I didn't know that and didn't expect that. It only came out a couple weeks ago. I know it was playing somewhere in Youngstown, like a theater I usually sometimes go in Youngstown was playing it, but that's the only theater I knew was playing it around here. And I'm like, out of the blue, the cheap theater, the second run theater that always gets like movies late, gets fucking Beautiful Boy. I'm like, wow, I didn't expect that one fucking bit. That's really weird that we're getting that out of the blue, but okay. If part of me was like, which one is that? Is that the one? Is that? Because I kept mixing that one up with Boy Erased because I was like, ain't Boy Erased the one about the kid who's addicted to drugs? And they're like, no, that's the one about the kid who's gay and his family's Catholic. And so, like, oh, okay, that's a different fucking movie, Boy Erased. Because I keep seeing advertisements for that. And I've heard about Beautiful Boy before. I saw that it was coming to the cheap theater. I knew about it and it looked interesting and it had my interest. I'm like, all right, I read the concept and what it was about and who it was starring, and I was like, all right, that does sound like movie that would be right up my alley. Like, that looks like an interesting movie. Sounds like an interesting movie. I kind of guess maybe they're putting this out at the cheap theater near me, because the only reason I could think of is because of the drug epidemic I got around in my area. Like, it's fucking ridiculous around here. It's more heroin than anything, and it's not crystal meth like it's in the movie. The kid's addicted to crystal meth in the movie. It's more heroin. I think that's the only reason they are playing this at the cheap theaters. Like, a little couple people in the theater, so it was a bunch of older people more than anything. I was probably the youngest person in there. But anyways, yeah, like I said, I was looking forward to it because it sounded like an interesting idea for a movie. It sounded like an Oscar bait movie, obviously, but it sounded like it could be a well done fucking film. And yeah, this movie's fucking depressing. It is fucking depressing. It's the complete opposite of fucking Instant Family. That was a weird double feature. One of the weirdest double features I've done in a while. Because, damn, man. Like, you see this, like, heartwarming, feel-good family comedy, and then you see this fucking film that's just dreary and depressing, and it's not it's not one of the most feel-good movies of the year. It does have a happy ending because, spoiler alert, if you don't know, the son and the dad, this movie is based off a true story, both wrote a book about this and about their experiences, and this is what this movie's based off, both books. But yeah, like, this, as far as, like I said, while I say it's depressing and stuff like that, it is a very good movie. I wouldn't say it's one of my favorite movies of the year, but it is a very good movie. It's really fucking well acted. The performances in this movie, as I expected, are fucking great. Steve Carell, goddamn, man, he is really good in this movie. He continues to impress the hell out of me. Like, this guy who started off his whole career, for a majority of it, as a comedic actor, and was on one of my favorite show, probably one of my favorite shows of all time, The Office. He started off his career as this comedic actor, and now he's turned into this really good, serious actor. He's fucking good in this movie. Like, the torture this poor man is going through throughout this movie, as it shows him through the years, trying to cope with the fact that his son is addicted to crystal meth, and he really can't, as much as he's trying, he can't do anything about it to help him. He is, like, at his wit's end throughout this whole movie. And it's showing like how it's affecting him and his family, and how it's affecting his marriage and his relationship with his ex-wife, who I'll talk about in a second. Yeah, it's like, man, it's Steve Carell is really fucking good. I give him so much credit. He's so good as an actor. Goddamn, I just generally love Steve Carell as it is, and yeah, he's really good. Timothy Chalamet, am I saying this right? Timothy Chalamet, or this is actually, I think, the first really movie I've seen him in. I have not seen Call Me by Your Name, for anybody asks. I just never got around to seeing it. It never came to my theater, so that's why I never got to see it. So, but yeah, like, this is one of, and this being one of his first movies I've really ever seen him in. I know I've seen him in other stuff, but I can't remember off the top of my head. He is a really fucking good actor, like a really good young up and coming actor, and he's really good in this movie too, portraying a guy who's addicted to drugs. Does a really good real life portrayal of a guy who is really badly addicted to drugs and what it does to a person, and it is like it does a good job of trying to split up like the points of view from the dad and the son, like kind of share their points of views throughout the whole movie. It does a really good job of doing that. This movie does, like, one of the things I think is I did find myself, like, I was very tired when I saw both these movies. I was wide awake for Instant Family, but this movie I was kind of like, for towards the first half, I was kind of like drifting in and out of like consciousness because I was very tired. It was like 7:00, and both movies are like 2 hours long, and that was a bad idea. But like, this movie like jumps back and forth between years and time spans, and I'm like, there's sometimes like you can tell when it's taking place in the past, and then sometimes I'm not fucking 100% sure when these events happen, because like Timothy Chalamet looks just like he did, in the previous scene, but it could be in a scene that's happened in the past, but I'm not 100% fucking sure. Sometimes it happens. I don't know if I was the only one that had that problem. Like, it really doesn't give you any inkling of how many years this movie takes place, because it had to take more place in more than a few years. It's a movie that's, it's like I said, it's a rough sit, because it pulls no punches about drug addiction and what it does to family and to a kid or anybody. Like, not just the person that does the drugs, but it does to his family and the rifts it could cause. Like, also to the point that, like, it points out, like, I like the one line of dialogue that Timothy Chalamet was having with his sponsor at one point. There's at one point in this movie, he's been like, I think like 14 months sober, and he's starting to feel like he needs to do drugs again. He calls a sponsor, and he's telling his sponsor, he's like, I'm tired of everybody calling it a disease and everything else like that. What I have is a disease. It's not a fucking disease. It's my choice. And the sponsor made probably one of the best responses I've ever heard. They said, yeah, but it's also your choice to quit. Why don't you keep doing that? Keep making that your choice. And I thought that was one of the most intelligent things I've heard in a while, because there's one thing I can't fucking stand is the people on the internet, and especially social media, that people try to say, well, we should just let all these drug addicts die. Just let them die. Like, I understand a lot of people out there, unfortunately, are not, fixable. We can't help them. They have to help themselves. I agree with that 100%. But just this whole mentality of people like, just let them die. I'm like, fuck you. It's like, if that was your kid or your dad or mom or some kind of relative, I'd like you to try to tell me that if that was one of your kids or like one of your family members. Tell that to the person that's fucking there, that's suffering as, like, I've had a lot of people that I've known die of drug overdoses. I had a dad who was addicted to pills, for fuck's sake. I mean, not exactly any drug, but he was addicted to pills. And it's a real fucking thing, man. I've had just recently a childhood friend die of drug overdose. He was getting clean. He was getting out of prison and getting clean, and then he just fucking got back into it and died. It's fucking terrible, man. It's not easy. There's no easy solution, really. Honestly, there isn't. There is no easy solution because it's terrible. They can't help themselves. If they don't want to help themselves, you can't do anything about it. And this movie does point that out because there's a point in this movie where Steve Carell reaches a point. He says, tells his son, "I can't help you. I can't." And that's one of the hardest decisions I can imagine as a parent having to do. Like, just tell your kid, like, who's gonna probably die, like, I can't help you. Like, that's, because if you do, you're just enabling them. It sucks. It's terrible. I can only fucking imagine, man. Okay, before I finish this review, I do have one thing that I want to talk about. I got a chuckle out of. and this is really kind of fucked up thing for me chuckling about. But, okay. So, I was talking about how Steve Carell had an ex-wife and everything else in this movie, right? I don't know how many people know about this, but his ex-wife in this movie is Amy Ryan, played by Amy Ryan. And if you don't know who Amy Ryan is, for people that are lifelong Office fans like me, she was the girl who played Holly on The Office. And if you don't know who Holly was on The Office, she was the character that ended up being Michael, or Steve Carell's character's wife on the show. And the girl he ended up marrying, about in the 7th season or whatever, and he lived supposedly happily ever after. And I'm, in my own fucking demented mind, I was sitting there thinking while watching this movie, I'm like, so in some alternate universe, this is what happened after The Office. It's like, so Holly and Michael got divorced and their son ended up being a drug addict. I'm like, that's nice. That's fucked up, but I was like, I don't know why I found that funny just thinking about that. And they're really barely divorced. They can't stand each other. They bitch at each other all the damn time on the phone. That's pretty much all their lines of dialogue with each other, or bitching at each other. I'm like, whew. I love Amy Ryan, by the way. Great actress. Fucking amazing actress. Goddamn, I love her. I've been a fan of her since, like, Gone Baby Gone. That was a great fucking movie. And that was an underrated fucking movie that never got as much credit as it deserved. But yeah, Amy Ryan was fucking. She's always fucking good, and she's good in this movie. She's not in this movie much, but she is good in this movie. I recommend it. It's a movie that's not an easy sit. I'll say that right off the bat. Beautiful boy. It's not my favorite movie of the year. Like I said, probably maybe one of the reasons why is maybe it hits a little too close to home for me. It's a little bit rough to sit through. I recommend this movie a lot. But I do recommend this movie. But if you're a person that's dealing with this right now, this problem probably wouldn't be the best movie to watch. Probably wouldn't be the best movie idea to watch this movie right now. If you're dealing with this problem in real life right now, I know a few people that this would not be a good movie for them to watch right now. But yeah, I recommend it. I will be back in the next. I didn't get any new previews because Cheap Theater always just plays like random previews of movies that are already out. So I will be back probably tomorrow or the next couple days for a review for fuck, I gotta still see. Oh, Widows and Fantastic Beasts: The Crimes of Grindelwald. And also later this week, I'll try to get a review in for Ralph Breaks the Internet and Creed 2, which I'm looking forward to. So that's for movies. I'll have a review up sometime here shortly. Until then, I'll talk to you guys.